Firstly, I'd just like to apologise if there's any extra noise you can hear. That's my fan on because it's Australia and it's fucking hot. Freaking 7 o'clock at night and still over 30 degrees. Don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, and I can't be bothered doing the transfer. This really does come out. This was made New Year's Eve. I'm about to go have a shower, get changed, go out. But I've just been enjoying this day, relaxing a lot, going over stuff. If anyone wants to know one thing I want to do before the end of Rwby Vol7, I actually got in contact with Adele Aka. Actually reached out to a few people, but CJ Blacko on Twitter, he doesn't have a proper mic and everything, so we wouldn't be able to do it. Floof declined, ironically. Floof, damn you. I was hoping you'd bloody get in on it. But Adele's all for it. Do a type of podcast. Maybe like record an hour of audio of us just discussing Volume 7, our likes, our dislikes, what we overall thought of it, all of that. And I'm actually really hyped for that. Because, yeah, just that's something. But, what I've been thinking about today, and I actually recorded a different video. And after I realized how long I was going on with in that video, and I realized after I re-watched it, I didn't want to upload it. Halfway through the video talking about Rwby, I realized I was like dead inside. I did not want to. It wasn't a good video, and so afterwards, after I deleted it, I was just like thinking, why are you? Some friends I've got are just like, Adam, just drop the show, man. Just drop the show. That's what they're like. They're like, you're hanging, like, you got this undying hope for this show, but it's so dwindling. It's like the hope's there, and someone's beat it with a hammer, someone's cut it with a fucking knife. It's killing your hope, and they're like, in other things that you're looking into, your hope with other projects and other shows and shit, your hope for them's dying because of how much you've poured it into that show. And I just ended up coming out with a decision that I think is kind of like a good resolution for 2020. And that's whether or not Rwby Volume 7 is the end of the Atlas arc, kind of like what they did with Mistral. They're going to have it's a combination of 3 and 5, but basically because 5 was the one season, it's basically, if they have the Grim Invasion, and in the next 4 episodes they somehow sort it all out, the Grim invade, this happens, and then next season, Volume 8 is just them heading to Vakio. I don't fucking care. Even if they stay in Atlas for a second season now, I just don't. I don't care. I really don't fucking care. I'm at the point where I want certain characters dead. I want all of Junior to die, and I will take pleasure in watching them die. I will tune in to the episode where they die. If someone tells me, oh, guess what you wanted happened, and I'm like, which episode? I will watch that episode just to watch Nora, Ren, and Jean, whichever one of them, or if all 3 of them die. I will take great pleasure in watching that. Yeah, but 2020, regardless of whatever happens in Volume 7 at this point, because I'm dropping the show. I'm dropping Rooster Teeth in general. Can't do it anymore. Like, all of their content, like, even Achievement Hunter is just recycled garbage. It's just the same shit over and over and over. Every now and then, it's like Achievement Hunter once in a while will dish out something that's legitimately interesting to watch. Like when they were doing that Monopoly event, that was heaps of fun to watch. But every time they're just in their studio opening packages, talking shit, it's boring. And the rest of it, oh god. The fact that Always Open is still around is only the LGBT community keeping that show fucking alive. God damn. In fact, Barbara Dunkelman actually, like, I legit think she must have sucked some fucking dick to get a job. But yeah, whatever happens with Rwby, like in the next 4 episodes, what is it? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 5 more episodes to go. And the Grim Invasion starting in episode 9, they've spoiled that. How fucked is that? I'm really, like, this is one reason I hate the show. Dude, your viewers who watched Volume 7 up to 8, they're gonna continue watching episode 9. You don't need to spoil shit for... Who the fuck gets online and goes, I'm the voice of Forrest. I'm a meme in the Rwby community because I fucking died. Where? Watch the show as we show you a preview. And it's like, oh great. So we know there's a hole in the wall. We know there's a Grim Invasion. And we know... Atlas's technology is ineffective against these Grim. Congratulations, you just spoiled what could have been. Like, if anyone, I swear, if any reactor who's watched that promo vid watches episode 9, and if they are going, oh my god, ah, fuck, the hole's blown, oh my god, the Grim. If they're acting like that after seeing the promo vid, you have to call them out on bullshit. That's fake. If you know what's gonna happen, you can't be acting like a fucking retard when you already know it's gonna happen. So I'm just like, I don't care. At this point, that's what I'm trying to get across, is that no cliffhanger can they pull in Volume 7. Nothing they can do is gonna shock me into continuing to watch in Volume 8. Why? Too many cliffhangers, for that matter. I'm not surprised anymore. Oh look, there's a riot going on. Oh, it's off screen. Oh, there's a Grim attacking. Oh, it's off screen. Oh, watch this, because Penny got framed. Who gives a shit? She's back in the fucking Jacques' house in the next episode. And you're just like, what cliffhanger can you produce for 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? Like, if Cinder and Neo show up, I don't care. They haven't been here the whole fucking episode. At this point, and I'm gonna bring this up when I do talk to Adele, Cinder should have died back in Mistral. When Raven beat her and she got her face blown with the fucking electricity, put her a burnt face. Burn her fucking face with that. That's electricity. No aura. Electricity to the face. And then she gets frozen. Your blood's liquid. It freezes with getting frozen. And then she falls into a lake. No oxygen. She survives. Oh, but Adam, for the LGBT community, you must die, you fucking cunt. But we bring back fucking Cinder for no goddamn reason. There's no goddamn reason she survived that. And you're just like, okay, Volume 7's here. Where are these 2 slots? Because let's be honest, redesign the costumes for these characters, and they're wearing less than they were before, and they're going into the coldest climate imaginable. I don't care. Even if I was right, and sorry about that. I had to pause for a sec. Yeah. Even if I was right, and what is it? If Salem and her monkeys end up attacking Vacchio, like it's a plot twist. Oh shit, they attacked Vacchio. If Salem and the monkeys attack Atlas and Cinder and Neo, no, that wouldn't even make sense. She changed the aircraft into a friggin' Atlas craft. Well, at least it looks like it. It doesn't actually physically. I don't know if it physically feels like it. They don't even have the fucking codes to communicate, but the Atlas military are a bunch of fucking retards anyway. They let dipshit land in the fucking city without codes. Like, incompetent military. Incompetent. Poorly written military. One of my favourite shows this year, as I'm just going to end this video, because this is only a small video. This is just me announcing. I'm not going to continue watching it. One of my favourite shows this year has been the Saga of Tanya the Evil. I love that show. I like that premise of it. I like the fact that she's going against God. That, you know, a 30-something-year-old businessman from Japan who's unempathetic, doesn't care about people, cold-hearted bastard is put into the body of a little girl in a different world during World War One and ranks up through the military. Because all the military tactics in that show make fucking sense. You gotta pay attention to what the military tactics are going on. It's all focused around a World War One setting. Shit makes sense. Atlas makes no fucking sense. Strongest military in the world doesn't have proper defenses, doesn't properly utilize their military, doesn't function like a fucking military. It's been sitting on its fucking ass for 8 episodes doing jack shit, and then the moment the Grimm show up, the Grimm, who apparently aren't affected by Atlas technology, they're the ones that show up, and that's when the military gets involved, and that's when us the viewer go, well, what's the point of the military if you can't take down the big ones? And I'm just like, oh shit. What is the point? That's why even with my friends on Amino, when they bring up Rwby shit now, I just don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit anymore. Because this show is effectively garbage. It had potential and it died as a piece of garbage. But the last thing I'll point out in this is something I want to bring up in the Adult Aka video, is like the big chance that Rwby had, because at the beginning, the difference between me in Volume 1 and now is when I first started watching, I was like, I had two, by the time I finished watching Volume 1, I was just like, this show is either going to have to be rebooted at one stage, which you could say Volume 4 was, but no, I meant you have to restart the show a second time. That would have been a safer option. Or they're going to get a huge amount of funding at some point. And then, to me, in Volume 1, Rwby was hungry. They were hungry. And I actually had the hope that Rwby could be the show, like Rwby could climb up to be the show that really defines a generation. Like, you always have shows that define a generation and age well as well. It's like Soul Eater at this point. People love Soul Eater. I love Soul Eater. Everyone says the one thing. It had a shit ending because it's an anime-only ending and it's not based off the manga. So ignore the last 2 episodes. 1 or 2 episodes. Still watch them maybe, but just ignore what happens between Maka and the Kishin. Just ignore that. Everything else is fantastic. And it aged well. 10 years later, it was made in 2008, 2009. 10 years later, people love Soul Eater. When Rwby finally ends, 5-10 years later, no one's going to give a shit about Rwby. It's going to be this cheap piece of crap that got worse as it went on. That's Rwby. That's Rwby's legacy. It's not going to age well. And the way I'm going to pretty much confirm this, Rwby had one chance to bounce back. It had its huge opportunity to bounce back from going downhill. And that was when it was announced that Rwby was getting a Japanese dub. And they were getting marketing in Japan, posters everywhere. They made a big deal about it, of course, because it's a business aspect. You want to post your success. What they didn't realize is getting the Japanese dub and getting the publicity is an accomplishment, not a success. It's 2 different ways of looking at it. It's an accomplishment, but it's step one in a process. You gotta make you gotta make Rwby big in Japan. That's very hard, given that's the land of anime. They're very fickle with anime. If the Japanese grab onto something and become immersed in it, you know you've succeeded. Rwby didn't do that. They concentrated too much on the fact that they got a Japanese dub. They're like, hey, we're an anime now. That means we're an anime. And the fact is, with the Japanese, and I know this for a fact, I've been there. I got friends there. I've talked to them. They've told me Ruby's dead over there now. The Japanese community of the fans, they enjoyed Rwby up to about Volume 3, even Volume 4. They don't watch it anymore. The amount of viewers out of Japan is fuck all. And if you want proof, no, you don't see the Japanese buying fucking Rooster Teeth subscriptions, do you? Why do you think the subscription price went up? Didn't work. It was a business aspect that didn't work. The Japanese don't care. The Japanese, they adore My Hero Academia. All of them. There's no part of the Japanese community, anime community, that hates My Hero Academia. They love that shit. And given how similar Rwby is, you would think this was a branching opportunity for them to corner the market. That if they paid fully attention, they're like, you don't have to bring out a season of Rwby every year. You know that? You don't. You could do it every 2 years. It would fucking work. You'd put more quality into it. Take the quality of 2 seasons, put it into 1 season, make it fucking fantastic. Then you get the people respecting you for the art that you're creating. Rwby didn't do that. Nah, they're pumping the shit out, and it's low quality garbage. You got episodes that are 13 to 14 minutes in a 7th season. Got barely any development. You're using the same story from Volume 3, throwing in American politics that the Japanese don't give a fuck about. The rest of the world, I'm Australian, I don't give a fuck. I look at it for entertainment value, the US politics, sorry. I find it amusing, but like I don't want to see it in an anime, and I'm like, that's where you failed. That's where you failed. You focused on the like Rwby's focusing more on the American market as well as the American LGBT market. And the show's dying. That's my opinion. I'm dropping it. Volume 7. I'm going to watch episode 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Watch the end of Volume 7. That's it. No more videos. Not going to watch it. Not going to talk on it anymore. Don't give a shit. And that's the video. Let me know.